You know, life is pretty good. I mean, I went to the zoo today for a field trip. I came home. I watched an episode of Jeopardy in which the champion got like absolutely smoked. And then I also watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. Hello, my mushroom-hating friends. Case here. And can we really just take a minute to think about how weird it is that the Super Mario Brothers movie is a thing that exists and is now out to the public in about half the world right now at the time of recording, considering that Japan still doesn't have it, which is weird. But like we've been, thinking about the Mario movie for like over 6 years now. Like, what could it be like? What is this movie gonna be? And it exists now, and it's weird. And it's weird to think about everything about it. Like, how do you make a Mario movie and all that stuff? And I saw the film, and I'm here to talk about it, because, frankly, there's a lot to talk about with it. Especially, like, the impact on stuff this movie has. So, if you have not watched the movie yet, and would just like to know a little bit about it, you can keep watching. There will be a spoiler segment later, which I will give ample warning towards. So, let's get started and talk about this thing. Okay, to begin with, the animation looks really nice. I know you all want to hear about voice acting and stuff like that, and I have my opinions on that, but to begin with animation, it looks pretty good. I am no good judger of animation. If you have seen any of my videos, you know that my style is very janky and weird. I'm not a good judge for animation, especially big budget 3D animation movies. But it looks like Nintendo paid Illumination a lot to actually try to make animation not as cheaply as possible. I mean, yeah, it's still rough around the edges a couple of times, but for the most part, it looks pretty dang good. Okay, now, you've all been wanting to hear this, my thoughts on the voice acting. It's kind of weird how quickly and normalized it kind of just became. For, Chris Pratt to be Mario, and Sebastian Maniscalco to be Spike, Seth Armisen to be Cranky Kong, Seth Rogen to be, Donkey Kong, and, just, like, all these other characters, and I'm just kind of numb to it now. I don't know if it's just because I had to edit so many of those trailers or what, or, like, these fan-made trailers I made, but I don't know, there's something about it that just kind of worked. The person who really put their all into this was Jack Black, okay? He was a beast. He was the star of the show when it came to voice acting. He was there, and you could tell he was having the most fun with this. Out of all the characters, I'm not sure. Seth Rogen was definitely a close second in, like, terms of how well their voice acting quality was. But then there's people like Chris Pratt who really just isn't the right fit for Mario. It worked for the way they designed Mario, because they wrote him like Chris Pratt. But at the same time, he's just not a good fit for Mario. Like, they really should have gotten Charles Martinet to do it or something. Okay, so another non-spoilery thing I could talk about is the score slaps, okay? The orchestra, they had so much fun performing this. And as a band kid, I can tell the difference between when, like, some people are just playing it and when people are playing it. Like, I can tell exactly what pieces they were just going down at. They were having so much fun doing it. I made a video all about how Nintendo's music is really good and they should release it. And I think they released this music. I need to fact check that. But I'm really hoping so, because there are some songs I want to add to my playlist because they were just that good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some spoilery stuff. And if you want just my honest opinion, right now about the movie without spoilers, it's an Illumination movie. Like, it's a film that exists. It's fine. It drags a while and then it gets good, kind of. I really say just watch it and develop your own opinion on it, and I'm just going to talk about mine now. And if you'd like some more thoughts I have about this movie, like existing, go to the timestamp up on the screen, because that's when I'll stop talking about spoilers. With that ends my spoiler warning. You have been warned. Okay, so all those things I was just gushing about the movie, for the most part, those were the things I really liked about the movie. Okay, the plot, okay, you have Miyamoto doing a movie. I know he said the interview, he doesn't like story. Okay? He doesn't like story. The plot of this movie was fairly weak. And it was so weak, in fact, that I started liking the movie once the plot really went away and it was more just things happened. But, like, once that happened, that's when I, like, actively really started liking the movie. But before that, I didn't like it because it felt like an Illumination movie. The first act felt like such an Illumination movie. Like Spike, this character we all wondered, oh, what's he gonna do? He was just this bully-style character that looked like he came straight out of Secret Life or Pets, or Sing, or Minions, or literally any Illumination IP. It felt like he was that person. It was very, very irritating, and I'm glad he was not on the screen for very long. But even just that first act, it was kind of boring. It was a slob to sit through, and then if I ever rewatch this movie, I will skip that part and get right into the Mushroom Kingdom part, just because that's when quality kind of started to show up. Another thing, Miyamoto's leading the project. Like, I know I just mentioned story, but getting further into that story. Sorry, I'm unscripted. I'm kind of just going out of order and going off, what I just kind of thought about with the movie. Yeah, it's really, like, it's rushed. It's a 90-minute movie. It should have been closer to 2 hours than an hour and a half, because it really needed just that little bit more time to develop story and flesh out its characters. So, because there is no character development in this movie, it's each character sticks to their one trait. Like Mario, he's just kind of a guy. That's really about it. He doesn't have much nuance to the character. He's just a guy who's trying to rescue Luigi. Anya Taylor-Joy. She's a princess. She needs to stop the Bowser. Seth Rogen, or Donkey Kong. No, not Donkey Kong. I refuse to call, Donkey Kong by Seth Rogen, okay? No. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, he throws the barrels. He's arrogant. He wants to dance and be show-offy. Bowser, he wants to marry the princess, which, I mean, Bowser, Bowser's the one character I was kind of okay with, because it's like, how are you gonna do the villain this time? Is he just gonna be unapologetically evil? And yes, he is, but at the same time, they managed to tie in the marrying the princess thing really well, and I have a feeling Jack Black, wrote that entire thing, because he wrote these not really good, but, this just fun to watch song called Peaches, all about, Bowser's undying love for Peach, which was just really funny to watch, because, after all these years, we still have no clue if Bowser except for, some of the comics, which aren't really canon, we had no clue if Bowser was, doing this as, a power move, or was just doing this because he loved Peach. So, it was really interesting to just get to kind of see this, because this is canon, I believe. So, another thing, this movie was not really as much of a movie, but more just fan service. When I sat down, it was after, that first 30-minute slog, to where they get to, the DK area, when the story just kind of vanishes, and now it's stuff happens until the climax. That's when, things got really fun. Because there was just, and even, in the beginning, too, the fun part was fan service. It's just fan service, fan service, fan service. Oh, look over there. Hey, look, that's a thing from a movie. Hey, look over there. Oh, wow, that's from, that one specific game. The fan service was just ridiculous. And it wasn't even, like, exclusively Mario. It was, like, there was this, one store in Brooklyn. I don't even remember what it is, but it had, like, as their mascot, the kid from Balloon Fight on it. I don't know if I'll have that image up on the screen. Depends if I can find it on Google. Like, Mario plays the Ness in, like, the opening 15 minutes. It's just really cool. And, like, they acknowledged Kid Icarus, too, which is a fun part. Maybe we'll get another one, I don't know, but that was fun seeing, like, Mario play Kid Icarus. And things like that. Just all these little pieces of fan service that made, like, my dumb brain go, ooh, and give me dopamine, which makes me think that I like the movie, which I kinda do. One thing I really was not a fan of is the climax just kinda showed up. It was like they were doing the Rainbow Road. I'm like, okay, I thought this was the climax. Is this the climax? And then, like, Mario and Donkey Kong fall into the eel. Great fan service once again. And then there's the Bowser Castle, and then there's the Ice Flower fight, but then there's the Banzai Bill, and then the Brooklyn, and then the anime Super Mario Superstar mecha anime stylized fight. Like, climax just kept going on top of each other. And it was just kind of jarring, because, like, oh, this is already over. Like, it just didn't transition super well. So, one thing I do need to commend the movie for, and I really should have done this earlier, is, the fact that, like, they made Mario capable. Okay? Like, we all kind of thought once, you know, we had gotten more info on trailers and stuff, that this was gonna be, Mario is a little idiot. He doesn't know how anything works. He's completely incapable. He's a fat man that can't jump. And like, I mean, at least I thought that. And I'm sure certain parts of the internet collectively thought that. But it was really like we could kind of see it, you know, that paint by number story archetype thing. Where it's like, okay, so then he's gonna try and be like, I want to get Luigi, and then he's gonna get beat up a bunch of times. He's never gonna win. And then at the end, it's all gonna constitute to a, I believe, and then he wins and Bowser goes bye-bye. That didn't happen. Instead, they kind of tried to set it up in the Illumination segment of the movie, but then in that moment where you could tell Nintendo took over directing and stuff, like all the movie, like Nintendo just kind of took over production after like the first 20 minutes, you could really tell that they were trying not to do that. Shigeru Miyamoto is very protective of his characters, and this is one time that I'm really cool with him, like, not willing to budge too far with his characters. Because it meant Mario is already great at jumping and platforming and stuff. He's not scared of people. He's not gonna back down. And he's capable of doing all this stuff. So we needed like 10 minutes to get his bearings. And as soon as like those 10 minutes were over, he was there. And the only reason he would like lose or something was purely because the enemies were just stronger than him, rather than him not being capable of defeating them. He was capable, it's just depended on how the fight went. Like that fight with DK, I really thought DK was gonna pummel him, and then it was gonna be like, the Kongs don't help, it's the end of the story, we gotta figure out another way to fight Bowser. But no, he ends up winning, which was just awesome, and it wasn't by dumb luck. I mean, partially, but it still took skill to actually, like, win. So that's the one other part of the movie I really gotta give massive props to. So, yeah, not too many thoughts on the Mario movie, but, collectively, I do need to say, despite any nitpicks that I do have, Illumination and Nintendo, I still gotta give you massive props. Nintendo, it's your first movie. That was a really good first attempt. And also, like, you guys figured out how to make a Mario movie. A Mario movie! Like, that takes some mad skill. Good job. We had no clue how this was gonna go. We were like, are they gonna talk? Are they not? How's the world gonna look? How are they gonna do just, like, floating stuff. And Nintendo just did it. Like, the world was so fleshed out and so lived in, and you could immediately kind of tell, like, things from the game. You could tell how they worked in the movie version of the Mushroom Kingdom, even though they didn't show a lot. What they did show, you could tell exactly how other things would work. Like, what about that floating ice cream area? Well, that's probably a place a warp pipe takes you to. And then they just did a really good job. They didn't even need to explain things like, why do platforms float? It's a strange world. It just kind of does. They didn't need to because they didn't have to, and they did such a good job fleshing out the other parts, I never questioned it. It was just like, it all worked, which was great. So, my final conclusion of the movie is that this thing was good. It was a great first attempt, but it was not great. Nintendo needs to do something with a little more story in order to actually, like, really get me on board one of their projects. But this was a great first attempt nonetheless, and if I had to give this thing a score, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And I would watch it again, except for the first 20 minutes. I would skip past those unless I was looking for Easter eggs, in which I would go frame by frame and not listen to any of the dialogue. So that is my review of the Mario movie. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please, down below, tell me your thoughts about the Mario movie and just kind of the current change in industry. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.